All right, let's dive into this really fascinating little book from 1912 called the Kybalion. Now, it might look like a modern text, but what's inside claims to be the key to a super ancient philosophy. We're talking about a system of thought that promises nothing less than a master key to unlock the very nature of reality itself. Yeah, this journey actually takes us way back, like thousands of years, to a philosophy that supposedly started in ancient Egypt. And here's the thing. Its wisdom wasn't just written down for anyone to read. Nope. It was often hidden, veiled in symbols. You know, just like this one. It was really only meant for people who are truly ready to get the deeper meaning. And this quote, right from the Kybalion itself, really just sets the perfect stage. You get a sense of its core idea right away: secrecy. This stuff isn't meant for just anyone. It's a profound truth saved for those who've actually prepared themselves to listen. You know? It gives you that feeling like you're about to uncover something that's been hidden for a long, long time.
Which, of course, brings us to the central question, right? The one the Kybalion is really all about. What if you could actually understand the fundamental operating system of the entire universe? I mean, seriously, what if one single set of teachings could just hand you the master key to unlock all of reality's deepest mysteries? It's a huge question.
So where did all this come from? Well, the teachings are attributed to this legendary figure, Hermes Trismegistus, which means Hermes the Thrice Great. Pretty cool name, right? He was supposedly the founder of all this hidden wisdom, and for centuries, none of it was ever written down. It was all passed on secretly, from teacher to student, literally from lip to ear. Okay, so to really unlock this whole philosophy, we have to start with the single most important, the most foundational concept. It's this one huge idea, and I mean, everything else is built right on top of it. The teachings kick off with this concept called the all. Think of it as the ultimate reality behind absolutely everything we see and touch and experience. Matter, energy, life itself, all of it. But here's the twist. The Kybalion says the all isn't some blind, random force. It's a universal, infinite, and living mind. And right there, that's the crucial point. This is the big one, the great axiom of the whole philosophy. It says that the universe we're all experiencing, it isn't fundamentally made of stuff, of matter. No, it's mental. The whole thing exists entirely within the mind of the all. Now, I know that sounds pretty abstract, so to make it a little more concrete, the Kybalion uses this brilliant analogy. Think about it. You can create entire worlds inside your own mind, right? With characters, places, everything. Well, the idea is that the all does the exact same thing, creating countless universes inside its infinite mind. So our reality basically is a kind of divine thought. So if the universe is a mental creation, it has to have some rules, some laws that it follows, right? It can't just be total chaos. And that's exactly what the Kybalion lays out next, the mental architecture of reality, broken down into 7 distinct principles.
And according to the text, there are exactly 7 of them, 7 fundamental truths. And get this, it claims that if you truly understand these principles, you'll possess the magic key, before whose touch all the doors of the temple fly open. I mean, that's a pretty big promise.
So here they are, the big 7. We've already talked about number 1, mentalism. The others are correspondence, that's the famous as above, so below idea. Then you've got vibration, the fact that everything is always moving. Polarity, the idea that everything has its opposite. Rhythm, which is all about the ebb and flow of life. Cause and effect, you know, for every action, a reaction. And finally, gender. Not what you think, but the masculine and feminine principles in everything. And all together, these 7 principles, that's the blueprint for our mental universe.
Okay, let's just grab one as an example to see how this works. How about the principle of vibration? It's simple. Nothing ever rests. Everything moves, everything vibrates. All the differences we see between a rock, a thought, or even spirit, it's all just about different speeds of vibration. That's it. From the slowest, densest matter to the fastest, highest thought, it's all just energy vibrating.
Or how about this one? Polarity. Now, normally we think of things like love and hate or hot and cold as being total opposites, right? But Hermeticism says, nope, they're actually just 2 extremes of the very same thing. Think about a thermometer. Is there a precise point where hot stops and cold begins? No way. It's just one long scale, a single spectrum. It's all just a matter of degree. Okay, so knowing all these principles is cool and all, but so what? What's the point?
Well, the ultimate goal isn't just to know them, it's to apply them. And this is where the whole philosophy shifts from just being interesting knowledge into a real, practical art of mastering yourself and your life. And this art has a name: Mental Transmutation. The book calls it a form of mental chemistry. And it makes sense, right? If everything is mental, and if all our mental states like fear or courage are just different vibrations and polarities, then it should be possible to change them. You could literally transmute fear into courage or hate into love by consciously using these principles.
But here's a key detail. Mastery isn't about breaking the universal laws. You can't do that, it's impossible. Instead, the Kybalion says that the truly wise learn how to use the higher principles to master the lower ones. So, for example, by understanding polarity, you can rise above the emotional back and forth of the law of rhythm. You're not breaking the rules of the game, you're just learning to play it on a whole different level.
And this leads us to a really crucial idea that the book calls the divine paradox. Here it is. Even though the entire universe might just be a mental construct in the mind of the all, for us, living inside it, its laws are very, very real. You can't just ignore the law of gravity because you think it's all in your head. Trying that, as the book hilariously puts it, would be the act of a presumptuous fool.
All right, let's get to the ultimate conclusion of all this Hermetic thought. This is the final truth, the one that ties all of these really mind-bending concepts together into one beautiful, paradoxical idea. And here it is, the absolute capstone of the whole teaching. And of course, it's another paradox. The quote is, "While all is in the all, it is equally true that the all is in all." So we've already established that the universe exists inside the mind of the all. But this is saying something equally important, that the all also exists inside every single part of its creation.
So what on earth does that mean? Well, think of it this way. In a sense, Shakespeare is present in his character Hamlet, right? The creator is in the creation. It's the same idea here. The creative spirit of the all is present within everything. From the tiniest little particle to the biggest galaxy you can imagine, every single thing contains a spark of that universal living mind.
And all of this leaves us with one final, really provocative thought. If the universe truly is a mental creation, and if we are, in our own small way, creators within it, operating by these very same laws, then that forces us to ask a very, very personal question. What thoughts are you choosing to create? What kind of reality are you building right now with your own mind?